Twice in 6 months.
Yeah.
At least I'm practiced, I'm seasoned.
Oh, I was gonna send you Crimson. Oh, true. Keep safe, keep safe.
That's definitely a pain in the
Welcome. We're gonna start. If anyone wanted to sign up for public comment, this is your last chance to sign up. The sheet is over here.
How would I sign up if I'm virtual?
We've got a virtual sign up. We just need your name. Can they send you a quick email? Or
Sure, if you're okay with that.
say if you could send an email to Lori.Heaney, Heaney, at ccsdre1.org.
And it's Lori, Lori.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right, so welcome. It is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. I'd like to call this Board of Education meeting for the Clear Creek School District Board of Education to order. It is 5:31 p.m.
Flanagan? Haig? Here. King? Here. McHugh? Here. North.
Here.
I'd like to move to approve the agenda. Second. Haig? Yes. King? Here. Or yes, sorry. Here. North and Haig, yes.
Yes, I do think that there was an amendment that we wanted to make to add long-range planning.
Apologies, thank
So,
you, Ms. President. I would like to change the approval to add a long-range committee applications that we have received, maybe right after the DAC membership approval and review.
So C 2.5.
2.5.
I amend my motion.
So, yeah, we did.
Okay.
Haig? Yes. King?
Yes.
McHugh?
Yes.
North.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. All right. Updates. Erica.
I think this is the first time ever I actually don't have an update.
Oh, my goodness. It's everything, oh, my.
I participated in the Henderson Mine Community Investment Fund grant application selection process and interviews, where roughly $300,000 is being awarded to local recipients in Grand and Clear Creek County. Attended October DAC, where we elected a new chair, Katie Averett. We also discussed parental concerns at the high school, student performance and test scores, student attendance at DAC meetings in the future, and future meeting dates, times, and agenda items. Carrie Ann and I hosted a come and go coffee at Mountain Mamas in Georgetown. And it was her, I, and Wes, so.
Wes was our only attendee.
Nobody came to ask questions or voice concerns. Met with Wes and Sunny to discuss the panorama survey that's gonna be going out, or maybe already did, to students and parents. And I attended the Enrollment Task Force Committee meeting this week. Lots of updates on that, but I'm gonna let Jessica and or Wes give the updates for that.
It's kind of a bummer that Kelly didn't give a report because now I have to give a report. We had several meetings with Wes and Lookout Water Mountain District, and then also with Jessica as well. So that has been ongoing. I did do the coffee. I was there. That happened. That was good. It was good to see you, Wes. Yeah. Other than that, there's just been, some phone calls, some conversations out there in the world. I know that we have a little bit of some pushback regarding 2511 resolution. And I have a statement for that, and I don't know if I should do it now or during the time that you give the update, whatever you would think is appropriate. But this is just my personal thoughts, not coming from the board. So I'm gonna read it. At the May 9th, 2025 bargaining session, I heard something I'll never forget. something that jolted me. One of the union representatives said, and I quote, "We've talked about this a lot as a team. For some of us, the question isn't whether the district survives, it's whether we can survive in it. We'd rather be paid more." That wasn't a one-off comment. That theme, prioritizing a few years of better pay, even if it meant risking the district's future, was echoed multiple times throughout that conversation, including direct agreement from other union members. I was stunned. The idea that dissolving the district was an acceptable outcome for our teachers was something I couldn't ignore. As a board member, I swore an oath to protect the viability of this district for every student now and years from now. I had to ask, is this really what the majority of our staff believes? What I found was just as concerning. At the time, only 30% of staff were dues paying union members. 30%. That's not a mandate. That's a small minority trying to steer decisions for everyone. And it wasn't just about numbers. The union's proposals left classified employees out entirely. They weren't at the table, they weren't represented, and they weren't included in the conversation about pay. That's not unity, that's inequality. That's why I supported the adoption of a new recognition policy. It requires at least 60% of all eligible employees to be due-paying members, with at least 15% of those from the classified union, for union recognition to continue. These thresholds ensure that anyone speaking on behalf of all staff actually represents a true balanced majority. By the October 13th review, the thresholds were not met. Membership was still under 50%, even with clear notice that recognition would end without majority support. Fewer than half of the membership chose to join. That tells me the model lacked broad confidence, so the recognition was revoked for policy. And our existing CBA remains fully in place through July 31st, 2026. We also have to be honest about cost. As a small district of about 650 students, we've spent thousands of dollars each year on legal fees tied to bargaining. Our administrative team has put in endless hours preparing, documenting, and managing union matters. And volunteer board representatives have given up evenings, weekends, and family time trying to navigate a process that too often felt adversarial instead of solution-driven. That is time, money, and energy that belongs in classrooms. Almost 2 years ago, we offered union leadership a non-voting seat at the table with us. The same access that we offer our student reps to get. So we could work the hard trade-offs in real time with real responsibility. They declined and kept a standing agenda slot on the agenda anyway. Instead, that choice spoke volumes to me. They preferred statements over solutions and collaborating with us on the hard issues. They chose that. They chose not to join us at the table. And I'll say this plainly. But that it's clear to me that this process has been operated, as it has operated, has done real harm to our district. It has created division, resentment, and bad feelings, and it has not delivered better outcomes for the people it claims to serve. I'm committed to sustainable, fair compensation. I value our teachers, our classified staff, and every person who keeps this district running. But we need a better way, one that includes all staff, reflects real majority input, and puts students and stability first. I will not support any path that risks the future of our district, and that's exactly what they were asking us to do. And that's exactly where I stand. You're welcome.
So, there's been a lot going on. Between literal and figurative fires, flooding and lack of water, and everything in between this last month. I want to thank you in advance for voting for propositions LL and MM on your ballots. I think you probably already have them. Mine are complete, and I'm going to drop them in the box. But students who are fed are better prepared to learn. If you have any questions, I would love to talk with you after the meeting. I want to thank our great partners at the Rec Center for opening their doors as an alternative for our students on October 6th when we were without running water at Carlson. While I was there at the Rec Center that day, I also had the opportunity to sit in on a meeting with several amazing community partners about potential future programming for our students. I attended a meeting yesterday about some additional potential programming for our seniors to get them out of the classroom more. So I'm really excited about that potential, but we've got a lot more information to gather, but we live in this amazing place, and I don't know if I've said it recently, but I promote an apple a day experience. I want our children getting outside of the building as often as possible. So to utilize this amazing space that we live in. I want to thank all of the parents and educators who have reached out in the last few weeks with concerns about their students and their experiences here at the middle school, high school. I want to thank you again for the attention to these academic matters, Wes. I'm glad that you have a team together to put a plan together to meet our students where they are, to help them gain the comprehension that they need so that they can move forward as successful students. I want to lift up the amazing work going on with the Enrollment Task Force Committee. They are working collaboratively with our communication consultant as we prepare for open enrollment. The team is also working with students at DU to help plan some potential outreach projects. In synopsis, we've got 5 teams of 5 students who are kind of putting together kind of a Shark Tank best plan sort of competition. So we'll be able to, a team of us are going to be there on November 13th to see those and evaluate which plan might be the best for us to adopt and utilize. I suspect that we're going to have a hard time selecting, but just so grateful for all of the energy, all of the parents that have come together to help the district support our goals. There is a survey going out to alumni to gather their stories and experiences so that we can share them with our current and future and potential future goal diggers. And again, I'm just so grateful for everyone that volunteers their time and energy to make this the wonderful place that it is. I also want to recognize the concerns around Resolution 2025-11. Our intention as the Board of Education has always been to ensure that all voices are heard and represented. We may disagree on how that occurs, but I believe that we can find a better way moving forward. I'm grateful to see all of the opportunities that you created, Wes, for feedback from educators, from students, and we're not done. I know we've got some other ideas that we're preparing so that we can ensure that everyone can provide feedback without fear of recourse. I know that every single person here at these tables and our educators want the very best outcomes for every student that walks our halls. I was glad to meet with some educators and Superintendent Paxton just earlier this week. My days are running together to discuss where the pain points are and to find some collaborative opportunities for the future. I'm proud to be here. I look forward to continuing to be a part of this wonderful school district and be a part of the positive work moving forward. Thank you, Wes, for all that you've inherited, the good, the bad,
The wet.
And for helping us find a path forward that really utilizes all the qualities of our Clear Creek Wonder profile. We definitely had an opportunity to practice them, and I look forward to many more.
So let me just, if Kelly had been here, this would have been reported, of course, but we did have the long range committee meeting, and just to thank the members that showed up to that, I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Since working here in the district, I'm trying to bring together our resources, our programs to provide opportunities for our students. So currently I'm working with various groups, Rec Center, Library, Performing Arts, other organizations, Mountain Youth Network, to provide programming. We met on October 3rd. We're going to begin on November 3rd to continue to figure out how we can make connections between all of our elementary schools to our middle school and high school and provide programming that connects them together. And so we're hoping that through this work, we will be able to do that. The next thing on November 3rd, we're going to be taking the calendar of the school year and mapping out when events are held so we can all make sure they're on the dates that we can work collaboratively and not overlapping each other with events. So that's what I'm looking forward. Let's see here. I attended the superintendent breakfast at Carlson Elementary in King Murphy, and I appreciate the parents who attended that and gave me feedback and guidance regarding issues facing their students in their school. So we're already starting to work on that. I'll report that here in a second, some of the findings that we're doing to address that. I'm having a great time walking through classrooms. I'm visiting teachers and seeing work that they do every day and the hard work they go into planning multiple lessons for the kids and creating engagement for our students. Yesterday I was at Georgetown and I had a great opportunity there to walk through the classrooms. In addition, we talk about water issues. I want to thank the staff, the principal, the facility management team, the transportation team, and my office team when we dealt with the closure of Carlson for the water repair. And again, shout out to the rec center for hosting us that on the 6th. We also, our transportation department, dealing with the safety issue that happened on October 9th. Trying to figure out how to get those kids to a safe place so that parents could pick them up after they cleared the closure of the road to Georgetown. And then also recently with the closure of middle school, high school due to a fire suppression line or sprinkler being set off by an overheating fluorescent light. They caused the closure of the building, but due to the situation, it was best to have the kids stay home than to deal with all the water in the hallway and having us have fire department here at the same time. I attended the DAC meeting, which was my first time attending that, so that was great to gather some more input, and we're working on those things as a result of that already. Long Range Plan Committee, we had a great meeting, and we continue to have future meetings to discuss the needs of our schools, implementing a safe place for our students to attend, our staff to work in, and making sure we're more energy efficient and safe as far as our schools, and also figuring out how we want to support teacher salary increases because that's one of our number one targets to address in our community. And so looking at how we can make some adjustments in our budgeting so we can do that. It's a community forum with Marcy and Carrie Ann, and it was a great conversation and got to see all the
We
folks.
were in the community.
We were in the community, that's for sure. I also attended the city council work session on October 13th. It was great to meet with those folks and talk about the needs of the community. And then I had a meeting with Mountain Youth Network, attended Mountain Youth Network meeting on the 15th to get updates on their work. Yesterday, we attended the senior field studies class at Bear Creek High School, which provides opportunity for students to learn outside the classroom, which is really extension of our philosophy here in the district. And so how can we have our seniors really have a similar experience during their senior year of getting out in the community, doing either urban studies, rural studies, or mountain studies. And so it's really kind of a neat program. I'm looking forward to diving more into it and hopefully sharing updates with the board on the future of that. Let's see here. As far as the sanitation service contract, I added that to my notes. We still only have 2. We don't have a 3rd yet. So as soon as we get the 3rd, then we'll schedule that for a board discussion if that's okay with the group here.
Unless Erin just wants to stay with ORC.
Well, I want to get the 3rd, so at least we can do our due
Have some
diligence on
options.
that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
As long as we're not gonna be in non-compliance with being required to have one.
Fair enough. Appreciate that. All right, so this one here is an interesting one. So the power outage at the high school, middle school, high school really highlighted some safety issues. And so I'm meeting with our tech support team and Kristen coming up to look at some things. So for example, one of the things that was brought up at the parent forum at King Murphy was how do we encourage SRO or patrol officer to be on campus? And one of the things that we talked about was could we put Wi-Fi outside the building so they could access that while they're in the area? Because there's always a patrol officer in the area, but having them in the school would be very supportive of safety and security at the school. So we're looking at putting Wi-Fi boosters, routers there at the school so they can pull in parking lot and use our Wi-Fi for free and do some of their work, but they're on campus during the day. So that's one of the ways we're trying to figure that out. Also, when you don't have the access to the internet, and you don't have good cell service there, that's a concern. And so what we're gonna do is a twofold, looking at working with our tech team. Hopefully, this won't be a short-term fix, but hopefully we get sooner than later, is to see if we can lease our space for a cell tower on site that would provide cellular service for the community, but also provide cellular service for the people in the building so they have access to that when an emergency happens. And then also working on our website and email that also went down because of that situation. So I try to figure out backup for that. One of the other things too is working with Aaron, our facility director, we're gonna have our radios reprogrammed, so we have channel 4 working, so all of us can talk to each other when there's an emergency. We currently don't have that situation, so we're gonna get that done very soon here so that all the school administrators can talk to each other. And we'll have some further conversations with the safety committee in the coming weeks when we have that meeting. All right, my next topic is resolution 2025-11. So as of last night, we had total membership of certified and classified employees was 51%, and classified membership was 27%. Resolution number 2025-11 states the number of dues paying members equals the least 60% of the total number of employees across both bargaining units. The threshold would be 60%, and at least 50% of those dues paying members are members of the classified employees unit. As of October 13th, the total membership of certified and classified employees was 46%, and the classified membership was 24%. The language in the resolution outlines that only dues paying members that have a payroll deduction are counted in 60%. So, therefore, the district deducts dues from wages of district employees in the bargaining units who are members of the recognized employee organization, due paying members, and pays them to the recognized employee organization. As a result, I sent a letter on Tuesday, October 20th, that the board resolution outlined that there will no longer be negotiations between the district and the association, but the current CBA is in effect until July 31st, 2026.
Thanks for allowing me to respond.
Sure.
This past June, the board quietly and deliberately passed a resolution behind closed doors, without notice, without transparency, and without a single conversation with the people it impacts most. Your resolution raised the bar for recognition from 30% to 60% membership, while also combining the requirement for recognition across two separate bargaining units with two separate collective bargaining agreements. There was no negotiation, no consent, no justification. This was not collaboration. It was a calculated anti-union attack on the teachers, educators, and support staff who keep our schools running. It was an attempt to weaken our collective power and silence employee voices. It was also guided by the district's legal counsel, Brent Case, a well-known anti-union lawyer who has made his career out of undermining workers' rights. Why was it done in secret? What were you all afraid of? Where was the transparency? Where was the accountability? Why didn't you want to hear from the people who make educating our students possible? Our response was to go straight to the people who matter most, our employees who make our schools run, to find out what they thought. And despite considerate turnover in the district, our membership has grown from about 40% to more than half since the start of the school year, and we're still climbing. over 75% of eligible employees signed on to a petition calling for the board to repeal its harmful resolution and to respect the bargaining process that we've had in place for 6 years. And we wanted, the petition we showed you was a request to recognize us as a union, and that's not just a majority, 75% is a super majority, who were demanding to be heard, respected, and to have a voice at the table. The district has silenced our voices, and this week, Mr. Paxton, as you said, notified the staff that the district wouldn't be adhering to the resolution passed in June, effectively shutting teachers and support staff out of the decision-making process. This is a blatant disregard for our contract that has protected worker conditions, stability, and collaboration in our school district for decades. This deliberate anti-union, anti-worker act violates numerous provisions of our legally binding collective bargaining agreements and undermines every principle of good faith bargaining. Mr. Paxton will shortly be receiving a formal grievance detailing the district's breach of contract and the many ways you have violated your agreements with district employees. I'll wrap it up. I just want to remind you all and everyone else in the room tonight that this isn't just about breaking an agreement, it's about breaking trust with the people who make our schools run. Thanks.
Are we allowed to respond to any of that?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay, so Rachel, you said that this meeting where we discussed and approved this resolution was done in secret. Are you accusing us of having secret meetings? So a meeting that wasn't posted, wasn't recorded, didn't provide minutes. Right? Is that what you're accusing us of?
I am accusing you of not seeking input from your employees.
You called it a secret meeting. That's a legal term. Are you accusing us of having a secret meeting?
No response.
Okay, so you stand by your statement that we had a secret meeting? You're not negating it. We did not have a secret meeting. It was
I
posted.
understand that.
You stated that we've silenced your voices, but you specifically have denied joining our board as a non-voting member. How is that silencing the voice? That was your decision. We've given you a standing thing on the agenda every time we've had a meeting. That is not silencing a voice. We've invited you to sit here with us and do the hard work with us, and you chose not to. That's not silencing a voice, that's embracing a voice that you chose not to do.
My recollection, I remember distinctly meeting with you and another board member, Carrie Ann, and I remember your, a discussion about you would like to get the board to agree to have association leader have a seat at the board table. My memory isn't 100% perfect, but it's not my recollection that was ever followed through.
I'll remind you then. As a matter of fact, at a meeting here, I followed you after you made your statement and I asked you if you were ever going to intend to be on the seat or on the board with that non-voting seat. And you told me here in this room, no, that you would prefer not to do that. That you would prefer just to keep the statement time on your agenda. I just want to make it clear that we have reached out. We have embraced. We've asked for the help and you have chosen not to. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
When I say you are silencing our voice, this recent decision to impose a 60% membership requirement is an act of silencing our voice. We have appreciated deeply being allowed to give you updates every month. I don't know that all boards do that. And if I rejected your offer to sit at your table, it could have been a time constraint issue.
I was just a little upset at your words. You're accusing us of things that we didn't do. And I'd be curious about the words that you used to get petition signatures as well. I'd be concerned.
I would just say additionally, Rachel.
Wait a second.
Rachel doesn't
Wait,
work
you need to be recognized by the board president.
Alicia,
But she's on so many committees in so many other ways. I can't stand by and let you attack an employee that works very hard.
I'm not attacking her job as an employee. I'm attacking what she is saying about us. I am defending us. She's saying that we had secret meetings, that we cut off their communications when we had not only given them the position on the agenda, but also offered a seat at the table that she refused to do.
I will take one more and then.
I'm just new to this process, so is it standard that someone speaks and then there's rebuttal or
No,
is
it's
kind
not
of
standard.
animosity? Because I would think listening would be the biggest component here, just as we listen to others.
All right, I'm gonna change gears here. We're gonna do some celebrations. I want to celebrate some things coming up and which have already happened. Carlson Elementary School has their Magic Show and Parade on Minor Street next Thursday. Which is going to be a great event. Clear Creek High School 7-0 in the football team, so congratulations to them. And they'll be playing this Saturday in Boulder High School against Justice High School, correct?
It's not in Boulder, but it's against Justice.
Okay, so then they go.
Boulder High School. It is, yeah, it's a neutral site.
I know.
You learned today.
Yeah. There was 2 emails that was the last one, so I'm assuming that's correct. Okay, thank you. And then the sophomores attended the Jeffco Career Expo last week, which was great. Georgetown Community School had a huge Touch a Truck event. It was a huge success. Always a great event for the kids to see the big trucks.
Everybody in town thought everybody's car alarms were broken. We were It was
That's
great.
They also did a field trip to Miller Farms, which is really cool. Keith Murphy had an expedition day where I think most of the students were out on trips that day, visiting different places. And so that was last week. And then they're also highlighting a nature trail adventure where the kids built structures right on the school site in the forest, which is kind of cool for that. I want to do a shout out to our 3 elementary schools. So I'm starting with Georgetown Community School. So if you ever get a chance to go on the internet and look at the best elementary schools in the United States, U.S. News and World Reports highlighted Georgetown Community School as one of the recognized top elementary schools in Colorado, a reflection of our district's commitment to excellence, innovation, and student success. However, all of our elementary schools were in the best schools in the United States. That's Carlson Elementary, King Murphy Mountain School, and again, Georgetown Community School. Students experience an education unlike any other, personalized learning, creativity, outdoor exploration, sparks curiosity, and a lifelong love of learning in the heart of the Rockies. So congratulations to the GCS staff, students and families, and also our other educators at King Murphy and Carlson Elementary. So congratulations to you all.
I might add that this is the 2nd year for GCS in a row now.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's see here. Lookout Mountain Water, we are still working through that, and I'll be working with Carrie Ann and Kelly, if that's okay with the 2 of you, for some guidance on next steps and so forth as we work on addressing that. I wasn't able to, because of the situation happened the day we had the power outage, and we had the fugitive who unfortunately
Which fugitive?
The fugitive drove off into Clear Creek and unfortunately victim lost their life in that situation. Because of all the investigation, they had to cancel their meeting with me, so we're gonna reschedule that. And we're also gonna talk about having access to the buildings is still a top topic of theirs. And also looking for, they really are wanting to look at using an app the teachers would have in the classroom that you can immediately contact law enforcement through this app. So we're talking about which one of, there's several out there, which one would be most effective. Again, looking at making sure you have, at King Murphy cell service would be very important if Wi-Fi was down. So these are all interconnecting pieces that I'm trying to work on that very important to me, very important to the families, and we're gonna try to make sure we address that. Let's see here.
Lots of updates.
Lots of updates. I want to do a shout out to Lori and Kristen on your work on the employee handbook, and I want to thank members of the teaching staff who will be joining the two of you to review that and see what we can do to get that approved, so we can get that in the hands of staff at our schools.
Kristen, I did get your invite.
Okay, thanks.
So about a month ago, we had the folks from Elevated Community Health come and speak, and they sent us a survey. I hope you guys have had a chance to review it. If there's any questions you have regarding the survey or anything like that.
It looks like they know what they're doing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
They've been through this before.
So you're okay with it,
Yeah.
going to send that out to the, okay, so I will get that sent out in the coming days. Those of you who are new, who didn't hear about this, Elevated Community Health, they started, I believe, in Summit County. They're currently at Summit High School right now. And they provide free services to our students and staff and our community. So if the student needs a dental appointment, they can do that right here in the school. So the student only misses the time they're getting a dental appointment, and then they go back to the class. They also do other things like immunization, just physicals and so forth. So it prevents parents from having to drive down the hill or to someplace else to get those services. They can do it at the school. So we're looking at doing that. We need parent input, so we're going to send a survey out. I know it's a lot of surveys you get, so please take a chance to fill this out so we can get an idea of if you're okay with that, is offering those services. Again, it'd be free, and those who have health insurance, they will work with your health insurance for those services. All right, next we have student representatives, which we have one in the
I see
room
Aiden's
here.
here, I don't see
Yeah.
Yay.
Come on up.
So we have two student applications. We have Hayden and Maggie, and so they have volunteered for this opportunity to work with us and attend board meetings. And they will also be joining us for the Colorado Association of School Board Executives, or school boards, excuse me, in December. And so look forward to having you join us. Oh, you're
Perfect
Maggie.
timing.
Welcome, yes.
It's amazing. I am late.
Yes, so do you have anything you want to say, or are you excited about the opportunity?
I think it's really cool. I did something like this back in Georgia, and I think it's a great opportunity.
I'm excited. I think it'll be way better than last year. I think last year we just didn't have a secure schedule, so this year it'll be way better.
I know you have very busy schedules, so thank you for your time in addition to your schoolwork and probably activities and athletics you're also involved in, so thank you very much. I don't know if the board wants to say anything.
Just thank you. We appreciate your willingness to join us and provide us input on the things that matter to you, which ultimately matters the most to us. So having you here, it means a lot to us.
I look forward to hearing your voices on some experiences.
So I feel like I know Maggie very well, so I look forward to getting to know you too.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that, if you guys have any issues that you want to bring to the board, or, if you want to do one-on-one, or bring it out in the public, door's always open.
Thank you. She's our board liaison for you guys, so technically give her a call, but you can call any of us for any questions.
And those are my updates, so thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you have any other questions for us? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Jen? Did did you have a preference of the quarterly update and the Q&A first? Or what do you have to pull up, easier for you?
What would you like me to pull up? But do we need to do the Q&A? I mean,
I don't know, if you've got your answers, does anybody have any other questions?
I would say shoot the
Okay.
answers out to the rest if you have it already.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Then we will just look at the quarterly events.
Okay, do you want me to pull that up?
Yes. Okay. So, if anyone doesn't know me, I'm Jen Baring, Director of Finance. And I'm going to be presenting FY 25-26 Q1 financial reports. That's July 1st through September 30th. The reports are being presented on CDE's recommended template to deliver transparency and accountability to the public and school board with the intent of aligning with the district's goals. I think this was the preferred template.
I thank you so much, it's a whole lot easier for us to read, I think the community will appreciate it too. Resources, or revenue sources, local revenue, state revenue, I mean, it's very clear.
It has a good amount of detailed breakdown by program or object. We did reduce some of the reporting trees to truly align with CDE's chart of accounts. So this aligns with our budget summary as well that's posted. So I think any report you look at, you're going to have consistent data this way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Upon creating these, I think I found that Q1 financials might be my least favorite ones to report.
Because everybody
Because in education, the quarter gives the least accurate snapshot of the true finances. Fund balances are still estimates while the actuals are being finalized. I did pull actuals since I think I did my very last journal entry today for the audit. And they're looking slightly better than the estimates, which is great because the estimates are set conservatively and then based on spending trends and historical data. So it was nice to kind of see where they're landing truly, but the fund balances and the reports are just estimates from spring, summer budgeting. And then revenues at this time are the lowest due and expenditures are higher, with the exception of salary and benefits due to renewals, membership, supplies, and summer projects. Because of these circumstances, it appears that most fund balance are funds that we are operating at a loss, but that's just not an accurate depiction. This makes me look forward to where the magic happens and the numbers align a little better in Q2. Overall financial snapshot, our year-to-date expenditures as a whole are under the 25% of the annual budget during Q1 in all funds apart from capital reserve and bond due to Chromebook replacements and the roofing painting projects over the summer and start of the school year. Percentage of annual budget expenses are in line with historical data and spending trends. The balance estimates are taken from the FY25 budget process and are not actuals. But as we get this audit wrapped up, we'll have the results here soon. And you'll see those in Q2 financial statements. The dates on the 22 bond fund are inaccurate. It did not pull from the main data tab, but the data does actually reflect FY25-26. So I just wanted to note that mistake. Revenues in all funds, with the exception of the bond, are lower than the 25% due to the time in which these are distributed and received by the districts, with heavy influx due in the upcoming quarters. Grant revenue was higher this quarter than prior years due to most state revenue, or most state grants moved to reimbursable instead of moved from reimbursable to direct deposit. And then bond is slightly lower due to lower interest received reflecting the balance. I'll come back to an audit update. We can just kind of go through the reports starting with the general fund. I'm gonna probably touch base mostly on the ones that are, above the 25% projected for the quarter and anything that seems, unpredictably low. The footnotes here that revenue fluctuates due to the timing of property tax, collections and, grant receivables, the quarter one property tax, that got cut off.
So I think we receive our county funds in like February, well, they're collected in February, so we probably don't see those till March.
Yes, they're distributed and then, I think starting last year, we went from a 12-month distribution to a 9-month too. So some of these vary to prior years, but the past 2 years of data are consistent. In Q1, salary and benefits are lower as teachers are paid September through August. Operation and maintenance, the property insurance was paid out in full in Q1, so that's skewing that budget a little. Instead of spreading it out throughout the year, I like to do it in Q1, so then when we're budgeting throughout and doing our quarterly reviews, we're not thinking there's still money there. So it can be either encumbered or just spent in the first quarter, and it's kind of easier just to spend it in the first quarter. Central services, there was a cost increase to Infinite Campus software, other software licensing renewals, prepaids were dispersed in Q1. IT services, the contract is going to skew this budget as well because we left budget and salaries for a second year.
Gotcha.
And depending our directions, we can always change it by next year so that the reports are going to be a little bit more accurate. We've spent 14.88% of the annual adopted budget in Q1, comparable to 14.08 in 25 and 16 and 24. Q1 expenditures only 2,000 higher than last year and trending to historical data. General admin and maintenance historically is over in Q1. Expenditures higher than revenue due to the timing of local revenue property taxes. The general admin was 4,000 over. That's the CASB memberships and conferences, all one-time expenditures, so nothing concerning because those won't be ongoing expenses and they're all expensed in the first quarter. When we look at the expenditures by object, professional services, again, higher due to the budget being in salaries. Same with custodial. Services are going to be charged here when the salaries are in, or the budget's in salaries. Capital outlay slightly higher due to a new computer for the superintendent.
Dang, Wes.
I think it was time. Salaries, lower due to custodial and IT, contracted and unprofessional services. There's bigger numbers. Okay, did anyone have a question on general fund?
I would just like to know from your perspective and seeing the variances from year to year when we're 120% over it because of the first quarter thing, rather than IT, maybe that's skewing our stuff, so it's just a little more. Is there anything that's a real concern that maybe we should be buckling down for so we don't keep skewing that quarters moving forward?
I mean, I think a decision just needs to be made. Are we gonna fill these custodial positions? Do we wanna move the salary and benefits? I did.
So you're saying they're in two pots right now, and one of them isn't necessarily funded, but it's sitting in the other.
The budgets and salary,
Right.
and then the expenses being charged to purchase
Okay,
services.
so decision on that front would help the numbers.
It would, and I spoke with Aaron today, like, about the King Murphy position, and so as I'm doing quarterly, reviews with each department head, we're making extensive notes, we're doing the journal entries, we're doing the budget adjustments each quarter, and that way, when it comes to budgeting season, we have 3 quarters of data where we've marked one-time occurrences and things like that, so that there is a deep dive into we pretty much go line by line and open every single expense and note, so that way, when we're doing budgets next year, it's very intentional, and we're aware of the one-time charges. We decide to make the move salary and benefits, depending
I think
on
that's very wise.
how that goes, yeah, because I really don't like clean reports and having to go and look at each one and see what's the issue, every time, so I think by next year, I think it's gonna be in a really clean position with, other than unexpected expenses, I think it'll be pretty clean with historical data and reoccurring charges.
Okay.
Food services. Again, revenue, just not quite hitting that 1 quarter annual budget, due to the fact that we don't really receive our first, food service payments until, November. I actually did get one this week, and then, I looked in last year's bank recs, and we had 2 hit in November. So next quarter, we'll start to see some revenue here. The FY25 actuals were a little bit better than expected, which is good because we did do a decreased transfer. I think we did 175 last year, and we reduced it down to 150. And since we ended a little more to the positive than expected, I think that was a good choice in budget reduction. Maintenance and repairs were a little bit higher in Q1, and that is just due to some work that was completed in the summer. It looks like we're 400% overspent, but realistically it's $735, so it's not as detrimental as it looks. Any food service questions? We're gonna look at grants, Fund 22. Salaries, of course, lower due to most salary employees are period 13 and 14 of the prior year. Federal revenue is negative due to the reversals of prior year receivables. Because of the way the accounting system works, we book them in this year and then push them back. Once the audit's wrapped up and we roll everything, all of those negatives will even out to zeros again. Supplies and material, higher than quarterly budget due to the Panorama survey, one-time purchase done in the beginning of the year, curriculum the same, and then school health professional supplies. Budgets have been revised in the grants as they've been changing this year, and a couple of the revisions have been made after this, so supplies and materials have increased to cover the costs of those. Other services, higher than quarterly budget due to case memberships and summer conferences. One-time dollars from the beginning of the year. It appears to be operating at a loss, but it'll net to zero once the reimbursements requests have been made. We did RFFs this week, requests for funding, so a lot of revenue is on its way, hopefully. I don't think the title funds were affected by the federal shutdown, so we should still be having those hit our accounts here soon. Bond redemption. The debt payments are not made until December and June, so again, it's not quite lining with the 25% annual quarterly budget, but we will see that again in Q2 and Q4. Very little is often received in Q1, so I don't have any concerns with this. And I think this account as well might end a little higher than projected from the budget process. Capital reserves, we did a $100,000 transfer. We put, I think, 70,000 of that in the high school, and then spread a little bit out throughout the other schools since we didn't know exactly what capital projects we were gonna do yet this year. So I have reallocated the funds, so though these percentages look skewed, the budgets have been revised because the Chromebook purchase was for the district, and so we spread the costs amongst 3 sites instead of just dropping it where we had budget, just so we can actually track schools'
I'm
expenditures.
sorry, what purchase? Skateboard?
Chromebooks.
Oh, thank you.
Skateboard.
Just the $40,000 skateboard purchase. Is that my Tony Hawk?
Yeah, I appreciate that you are spreading those expenses across the building so that
It makes
to
a
move
lot of
forward, we
Because
can
otherwise it looks like
see
high
that
school's
image.
getting
Yes.
favored or,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're doing that, but with it comes budget adjustments, but they have been adjusted since this report was printed. Preschool fund, professional services are a little higher in Q1 due to the gold portfolio assessment purchase and the Right Will subscription. They're both annual, and again, hit in Q1, which is why this not my favorite quarter to present, but I just love raw data, like facts and truth, and I just feel like this doesn't quite do it, but there's enough footnotes to justify the discrepancies that you'll see here. UBK, intuition, our revenue is higher in October through May and less in Q1 as well. Currently operating at a loss, but this is gonna switch once the UBK payments are received. So far, we've only received 1. Right now, the 100K transfer to this fund seems to be the right amount. But we'll see as that goes and make adjustments next budget if we need to. And then bond, the majority of that fund balance is reserved for contingency, and that's gonna just be reallocated as our projects are determined. The expenses here is gonna be the King Murphy and high school roof projects, the high school baseball field, and the Georgetown Community School painting project. And yeah, we're gonna spend down these bond funds this year. And maybe we won't even have to include this report next. I've sent off the arbitrage calculation a little early. I think I will send it again in December, but we're gonna get a preliminary. And then some audit notes. I did the exit interview on August 8th. The feedback was very positive. I think the entire audit in whole went really well. I enjoy working with them, and they are certainly knowledgeable and familiar with our schools, which I think helps, so they can read our accounts and kind of know the questions to ask. They did want to address some of the school activity fund accounts. I think I watched the presentation from last year at this time, and I saw Leah had mentioned the same. I recall when Holly was here, her also.
Yes.
So,
Have we not put that second person in that process yet?
I met with UMB,
Okay.
and looking at what that route could look like. There are P card carriers right now, and then First Bank is coming to Carlson next week. I just had to put that on the back burner until I got through this audit and could actually wrap my head around that process. I've kind of had conversations with the school secretaries and accountants to see what this process can look like. I had not had my eyes on these books before the audit, since I wasn't in this position before, and I've actually learned quite a lot in the last month regarding this. So how this will look and the timeline are to be determined, but there will be some changes and it'll be moved to some sort of district oversight this year, just so the auditors don't have to have that question. If there's any struggles with accounting or anything like that, we could have an extra person to help out with that. I would like to have this done by 12/31, and it is the goal, but I do not know how much it entails, so I will try to meet that deadline, if not sometime this year.
So that was one of the questions I had for the Q&A, was, how are we ensuring that our teachers don't have to go out and make all of these expenditures and then get reimbursed?
Right.
And what is the process for them not to have to do that? Because I feel very uncomfortable that any teacher would have to spend $300 or $400 and wait for a reimbursement. And so you had a good answer, and I'd like for everybody to hear that.
And sure, and that process can take however long it takes them to get that to the secretary, for the secretary to go through every receipt and then submit a DPR for it to get processed through AP, which we only do every 10 days. Then we have to wait for the money to clear the bank, and then sometimes it's a weekend. So it can take longer than expected. And I cleared this with, or went over this with Scott and Lorraine. I do not believe, Kevin and I had a lot to cover on his budget, so I don't think that his is
That may
a
impact-
little longer.
okay.
So I don't think we got
That's
to
fair.
that, but I will send him and Ryan an email just to reiterate. Some of the teachers prefer it because they're out on the weekend, they
That's
wanna
true.
go, and so I said it's not something I'm wanting to shy away from, but I do want to remind the principals just to communicate that there are other options. Amazon, we can do online ordering with our purchase cards.
Right.
We can add new vendors, and really anything it takes to accommodate, because I don't want, plus often when they're doing their own purchases, the taxes on
Right,
there.
the taxes and things.
And we absolutely hate to not be able to reimburse for that. So I think, as long as that gets communicated and everyone knows that there's other alternatives, that they do not have to do that. And then if that's their preference, direct payment requests are still very much welcomed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up so we could remind, because there are new employees every year. Data pipeline, we are getting through it. I'm waiting on GCS's audit. One suggestion that was mentioned to me would be to work with legal to renew our contract with GCS next year to include an earlier deadline. Currently it has an 11:30 deadline, which is the same day that ours is due. So if they're not submitting the audit to us until the day that ours is due, it makes it a little challenging to get through it. Bart's been in good communication, and I was expecting it on the 15th. He's following back up with their auditors to help get that to me, but it does kind of hold up the process of wrapping up the audit and getting through the pipeline. So one thing I would recommend on our renewal contract next year is just to
Is that next year?
put a firmer deadline.
Every 3 years. We've got 3 years on this one, right?
Oh, I thought it was,
It's not every year.
is that an every year
No,
contract?
but what we can do is amend that.
Sure,
We can do that.
okay.
Yeah.
And
So
I
let's
mean,
look at that.
I can work with Bart too on when,
What would work for them?
yes, that will work for us. and work
Yeah,
for them.
exactly. So let's just build an amendment to the contract.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then the auditors used the term line colors. Once we wrap it up, we'll collect the signatures and get it submitted before the December deadline. I did 2 journal entries today. I think those were the only journal entries for the audit. It was Gatsby Para, and then just moving one item out of bond to prepaids because it was a 3-year contract. But other than that, there was minimal back entries. They are planned to present on the December 9th study session. Just need to confirm her answer was a little loose in saying I believe so, but I just want to lock that date in with her and you guys. And I think that's it. Unless you guys have other questions. Sorry, I fumbled a little. This is my first time.
No, you did great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You had good notes too, so
Okay.
that helps.
Yeah, the clarification.
Yeah.
Oh, I deep dived. I don't want to get caught off guard.
Thank you again, and thanks for answering all the questions.
Of course. Keep them coming. I genuinely.
Oh, hey,
appreciate
there
it.
is one question I asked that I think everybody should probably hear about is I questioned the video camera for one of the buses and came to find out, and I wanted to put it out there, that there is a camera on all of our buses and all of our vehicles, and kiddos and parents should know that. Which I thought was great.
All right, DAC membership review and approval, we've got.
So many.
A lot, I
Yeah.
There's excitement.
Has everyone been able to look over the list? Are there any
I have.
questions?
The only question I have is, Wes, just in looking at our statutory requirements, and basically, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but this is your circus. But, and if it would be your preference one way or the other, what we do here, kind of thing, do you have a preference?
No, I'm fine with what you do typically. So
Okay.
approving the
You'll do
10
this if we
applications,
don't.
Right.
Well, given that, without a recommendation, I would move that we approve all of these applicants. And as you are at the DAC, Marcy and Wes, with these applicants, and maybe we're going to filter out some people maybe should be at the back or the SAC or whatever, maybe they'll find homes that interest them as well. So, yeah, I would recommend that we approve all of them, and we still keep beating up the Georgetown folks to come up with a member. And that's basically my job.
Thank you. Lord.
All right, Hank,
Yes,
King,
Yes.
McHugh,
yes.
Norm.
Yes. All right.
Thank
We
you,
also-
everybody that applied.
We also have 2 new members for the long range planning committee.
So both of these applicants have been in the construction industry. Lisa's more of an accounting type person in the construction industry. So I reached out to her specifically for that very reason. And then, gosh, I don't know who recommended John, but he looks like a good applicant. As long as it doesn't prevent my favorite applicant that I know is coming forward, then I'm okay with that too. So I would move to approve both.
I'll second.
Hank,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
McHugh,
Yes.
Norm.
Yes. All right. I know some of the parents here are ready for this piece,
Right.
the high school math interventions.
Yes,
Yeah.
so yesterday, the principal submitted to me a plan. Through conversations and some revisions, I approved the plan proposed. And I've asked the principal and his leadership team to reach out to parents with an overview of the plan and the options available to parents on if they want to stay in the current situation or transfer into an alternative math program. And moving forward, that's what we'll have available for students. It's a student pace based on their abilities and visit their pace of learning the material. The nice thing about the program is it provides online tutoring, real people tutoring, and it also provides some teacher support. And so that's our plan moving forward.
Goals for you, sir.
Yeah.
Say, we have our, we've been throwing you some curveballs. So I asked the board to look over the past form we have used to measure success. We had 3 objectives. 1, to increase visibility, transparency, and trust in the community. Objective 2, to build strong leadership throughout the district. And objective 3, to establish Clear Creek School District as an excellent choice for mountain families. And I would almost say, and beyond. So,
Yes.
I was looking for feedback to see if those objectives still felt like they were a right fit for us.
You know, when I was reading, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
The only question I have on this particular feedback form, usually when I'm looking at these HR evaluation forms, there's almost always a definition of the rankings. So distinguished, doesn't need to do any improvement, you know, and what that means. Strong, maybe good, but could do, whatever the definitions of those are. And, you know, maybe Kristen can help us out with that. HR, yeah.
Yes.
Like, distinguished, go ahead.
Say, under those objectives, then there are 8 different qualities. So advocacy and engagement. And I did flesh some of that out, but not the rankings. So
It's my
gosh,
job.
yeah, thanks for helping me find opportunity, yeah. But, so advocacy and engagement, I suggested there that maybe the objective is really to strengthen Clear Creek's visibility, partnerships, advocacy at the local, regional, and state levels. And my goodness, you are meeting with all the people all the time. So it's been really hard to come up with some things to make you aim higher, but I think the biggest thing we need is consistency. So that's gonna be your real test. Okay. Board relations, cultivate a transparent, trust-based working relationship with the board. I can speak only for myself, but I think that has been great. Instruction, student achievement, we have most definitely asked you to step up in evaluating that, ensure continuous improvement in student learning outcomes. You're in the classrooms, you're already evaluating educators and our building leads, giving them each achievable goals, and I suspect that as the year goes on, those will increase as well. Instruction, that being staff development, again, that goes hand in hand. So supporting ongoing professional growth for educators and administrators.
Working with the representatives of the schools.
Yes. That one, yes, yep. Then facilities, maintaining and improving facilities to ensure safe, efficient, and inspiring learning environments. You're literally putting out fires, so, yeah.
And find out what's in the closets.
The finances, maintain fiscal responsibility, ensure alignment with our resources and district priorities, and you're already finding ways for us to really hit our top goal, which is to improve educator salaries. So I am so grateful for that work. This is where you said personnel, recruit, develop, retain high quality staff and educators at all levels. And then the last piece was our student support services, fostering a safe, inclusive, and supportive environment that promotes student well-being. And yeah, I've got more details here if you want to see those, but unless there are any, yes,
I agree with Carrie Ann that we need
the definitions.
around ranking, but also what you just read for each item, I think
That needs to be in there.
included in
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not
That
just
was
say
my homework.
Okay.
That was what we had. I had asked if you all had questions or concerns or ideas on how to make it better. Because I don't feel like right now it's necessarily giving measurable advice or, things that we can truly evaluate. So I will,
Yeah, all the
share
words
this
that you did were great. I mean, they
with
explain
everyone,
it. Yeah.
and us. But that part I didn't do, so that will be my last homework piece is to, you're willing to work with me?
I'd love to.
Yay. I love help. Yeah. Any questions? Like, did any of that seem?
It's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you very much for your feedback. I appreciate receiving that from you all, and how I can improve.
We're working on it. We can keep going through all that.
Good.
say, now on
Because
to,
we built the basement.
if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
All right, we've got some policy work on second read. CASB had some updates that were held over from last year. Policy IKF is graduation requirements.
So we removed the val-sal language from the proposed language and retained the CASB recommendations.
And that work is being done at the school level.
Correct, that'll be part of their student handbook that they will put together. They're in the process of putting together.
So I would look for a motion to approve.
I would move to approve IKF graduation requirements.
I'll second.
Haig,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
McHugh,
Yes.
Norm.
Yes. Policy GBEE, staff use of technology. We're really looking to make these two policies, the staff and student, to align.
Correct, so we've done that. We've also removed the social media language regarding in board policy that was brought up at the last board meeting. And we retained the CASB recommended red lines and added a section about safety to match the student policy.
I would move to approve, policy GBEE.
I'll second.
Haig,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
McHugh,
Yes.
Norm.
Yes. And then finally, policy JS, which is the student use of technology.
And on that one, we moved one sentence on there on the last page. Otherwise, it's the CASB recommended red lines.
Move to approve policy JS, student use of technology. I'll second.
Haig,
Yes.
King,
Yes. Sorry.
McHugh,
I'm sorry, I have a question. Well, I'll ask a question before we get to voting.
Yes.
Is this the one where we wanted to turn off but not, or to silence but not turn off? I can't remember. The phones for the kids? I'm just not
that was
finding.
the cell phone.
Yeah, that's the other policy.
Okay, thank you. Then I do not have a question. Yes.
Norm.
Yes. All right, consent agenda. This includes minutes from September 9th study session, the minutes from the September 9th special meeting, and the September 25th business meeting, and also our staffing update.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
No, second.
Haig,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
McHugh,
Yes.
Norm.
Yes. Are there any future agenda items that we'd like to consider?
I had one and it's not here.
You can bring it to our agenda
Okay.
planning.
Yeah,
How's that?
there you go.
Okay, or email me in advance.
Yes.
Is this what we could possibly?
I am moving on, hold on, just a moment. Now we're moving on to public comment. Do you have anyone sign up?
We have several. So up first would be Heidi Arter.
Thank you. My name is Heidi Ardern. I'm a parent as well as a PTA board member at King Rugby and one of the team leads on this district's enrollment task force committee. I love where we live and I love this district. I'm proud to volunteer my time to support our students and teachers. I'm speaking today in support of our educators and staff and as a concerned parent. The board recently resolved that the district's recognition and bargaining procedure, which allowed for collective bargaining, would be automatically revoked if certain union membership criteria are not met. This resolution was made without consultation or negotiation with the Clear Creek Education Association. While the legality and implications of this resolution are yet to be known, I believe this resolution and the way this change is being made will further erode the already fragile trust between educators and district leadership and will cause harm to educators, staff, students, and families. Our district proudly teaches the learner profile, which espouses the values of communication, character, leadership, collaboration, critical thinking, and adaptability. As all parents in this room know, we don't teach our children values solely by explaining to them what values are. We teach them by demonstrating these values ourselves. And when we act differently from what we say, our kids let us know. Today, I'm here to let you know. As district leaders, you have blindsided the Education Association with this resolution, and in doing so, you demonstrated poor communication and poor collaboration. While Colorado law unfortunately does not mandate collective bargaining rights for educators, in not rising to a higher standard and showing educators that you value their voices, you're not demonstrating character or leadership. There are wider consequences of this resolution in terms of maximizing student achievement and attracting and retaining high-quality educators, particularly when the largest neighboring district and a major competitor for staff and enrollment does protect collective bargaining rights. This shows a lack of critical thinking, another of our learner profile values. And finally, in passing this resolution, you've impaired our district's ability to adapt to the rapidly changing landscape of education, in which teachers are our most valuable resource and are on the front line implementing the changes that you want to see happen. The National Education Association says that teachers' working conditions are students' learning conditions. I fear the consequences of this action on our educators and staff, on our children's learning, and on the future viability of our school district. When I look at other districts who are making similar decisions, I'm not encouraged about the implications for the direction of our district. I am one of a group of committed people who are working right now really hard to improve public awareness and opinion of this district, and decisions like this are in direct opposition to these efforts. I want to continue to believe in and work on behalf of this district and its values, but in order to do that, the district has to act according to its own statement. Thank you for listening.
Jill, Spencer?
Thanks for letting me come late, I guess.
Actually, your timing is perfect.
Oh, really? It doesn't happen very often these days. Hi, just finished conferences, so I missed most of it. Thank you for your time. I come before you, again, disheartened and dismayed. As a founding and continuing member of a recognized Clear Creek County Education Association, termination of our bargaining rights represents not only an unwillingness to listen to educators, but an utter rejection of our collective voice. If there's another way for me to interpret your recent actions, namely around Resolution 2025-11, please tell me what I'm missing, really, please do. I've had group and individual conversations with each of you over the years. Some public, some private. I think I've always presented a willingness to discuss issues and answer questions, open to your questions to help bring clarity. I cannot fathom what I've done to be on the receiving end of such exclusion. Communication is key. We all need to listen, ask more questions. We need to gain clarity, not make assumptions. So here are my questions. Is the purpose of Resolution 2025-11, the resolution that has terminated CCCA's bargaining rights, meant to increase the threshold for employee representation? Or is its intent to kill the union? If I move forward with positive intent and assume it's about holding a higher percentage of members, then why is there no wording to re-engage bargaining if we hit 60%? Since there's no way for us to regain bargaining rights, this means there will be no bargaining agreement starting September 1st, 2026. And CCCA essentially ceases to exist. Why? How does this show a willingness to listen? The very platform many of you ran on. But it seems to extend beyond silencing educator voices. What does it say to our entire Clear Creek community when you shift public comment to the end of your business meetings? If you're not willing to listen to concerns and make informed decisions, Is your heart really on the school board? Is that where you want to be? If you have any desire to answer my questions or ask some of your own, please reach out to me. I'm always willing to try for clarity. Thank you.
Rachel, are you?
I'll pass.
Okay. Kristen Manwar?
Good evening. I'm Kristen Manwaring here again to, in hopes that we can start fairly paying our educators. And I ditto all of the comments I'm sure we made here again tonight. Last spring, our teachers, parents, and community stood together right here demanding competitive, livable wages for our educators. Meanwhile, our teachers have attempted to negotiate in good faith with you for appropriate pay while increasing their membership per your resolution. And our teachers, parents, and administrators have spent months working hard to boost district enrollment and funding. We responded with action, cooperation, and hope. The board instead responded with a resolution intentionally stripping teachers of collective bargaining rights without any real reason other than a feeling that not enough of our educators are interested in increased pay for their invaluable work. Questions? Did any of you ask that portion of the 75% that signed the rescission petition why they had not joined the union membership? That seems like a key delta you should know. Have you asked yourselves why you've hired an anti-union attorney to represent you against a union that has no representation? The parents and educators of this community have done our part. It sounds like Wes is dedicated to fixing educator pay, so he's working on his part. It is time for this board to do your part. Negotiate in good faith, respect our teachers, and truly support the education for our community and our community. On a separate note, I am here to ask on behalf of all Blue Valley families with kids in the district to immediately reinstate our bus stop. The bus stop was eliminated with no discussions, no real notice, and no apparent reason. We already drive 10 to 30 minutes to the bus stop where we drop off and pick up our kids for at least the last 12 years. Eliminating the bus stop has doubled our drive time, makes the walk home for those students who do not have rides 70 minutes along a windy state highway and then 2 miles through a national forest just to get to our neighborhood, not even their homes. This has already stopped families from moving into our neighborhoods, buying the homes, which impacts not only enrollment, but our property values. It has parents sitting in a lot that has no cell signal versus the lot that has had cell signal for years where we work waiting for the bus. And now it is jeopardizing me and my husband's work from home jobs because instead of being offline for 10 minutes, we're offline for 50 minutes every day. All of this for a given reason that has yet to happen in 12 years. And that same bus meanders through another neighborhood making 6 stops where the houses are only 7 minutes away from the opening of the neighborhood, which is where we have to go catch our bus. With that, I respectfully ask for the district to immediately reinstate our stop before there are further negative impacts.
Kristen, Michelle?
Hello. My name is Kirsten Rishoff, and I'm a Clear Creek resident, a parent of 3 kids in the district, and I work at King Murphy. We've loved being part of this community. Our teachers, our staff, and our schools have given our families such a place of belonging. My husband is a teacher in Jeffco. It would be easy for us to send our kids there, but we chose Clear Creek because we believe in this community. We want to see it grow with enrollment and get stronger. But right now, the board's recent actions are making that hard. When I read the email saying they no longer recognize the teachers union, I felt disappointed and deeply concerned. It sent a message that teachers' voices don't matter. The timing of this decision doesn't sit right with me. It feels rushed, especially with board members leaving and new ones about to come on. That kind of decision should have waited until a full, newly elected board could be part of the conversation. I understand that sometimes legal fees are necessary. That's part of doing business. But I don't think you need to have a lawyer sitting beside you every step of the way while you're negotiating. So much of this could be resolved by sitting down together, face to face, and having real, honest conversations. In our classrooms, we teach kids how to solve problems. We ask them to communicate respectfully and work together. We expect that of them. But as adults, we're not modeling it. We can't ask kids to do something that the grown-ups in their own community aren't willing to do themselves. The people doing the actual work every single day, our teachers, should have a voice. They are the heartbeat of this district. Their experience, their perspective, and their dedication deserves to be part of every major decision being made. I also have to ask, who is holding the board accountable? As a taxpayer, I'm frustrated by the amount of money being spent on legal fees when the money could be going straight to classrooms to support our teachers and our kids. We've seen what happens in other districts like Douglas County. When the teachers are silenced, morale drops, teachers leave, and students lose. That cannot be the path we take here in Clear Creek. I believe Clear Creek can do better. I really do, but it has to start with leadership that values people over power and collaboration over control. Our teachers are the heart of the district. They deserve to be heard, respected, and supported. And our kids are watching. They're learning from how we handle conflict and how we lead. Let's show them what it looks like to do this with care. Thank you.
And then we have Katie Daly online. Kristen's gonna mention her available.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a parent to a wonderful preschooler at Carlson. And I heard a statement kind of at the beginning of this meeting that mentioned the actions of teachers during union talks resulted in division, resentment, and hurt feelings. Sorry if I misquoted the hurt feelings. My computer cut out, but I think that's what you said for that last bit. And I found this very confusing. And I attended this meeting today because prior language that kind of matched this was also very confusing for me, and just doesn't really match up with my experience in real life. I am very lucky to interact with so many of our teachers here in the district, whether they're my son's teachers or I just see them on the playground or at events or around town. When I see these teachers, they're the ones that give me faith that this community and our district can overcome our funding struggles. I'm scared about how we're going to pull things together, and I see them, and I see the hard work that they put in for our students and for our families. I see them put in long hours, their own money, really, really deep emotional work to take care of our kids and our families. That's really kind of well beyond expectations. And they give me faith that all of this is going to work because they're going to fight for it. But then when I come to these meetings, this is where my faith is shaken, that the district is going to do well. I am genuinely flabbergasted by the intensity of the conversation coming from the board. I leave these meetings in shock of the language and the actions that the board members display. I find there to be very intense language that seems to criticize the hearts and souls of our teachers and these people working really hard and their intentions. And I'm also surprised that the burden of the district's overall entire success or collapse could be placed on these teachers' shoulders simply because they asked for more reasonable pay. That's far too big of a burden to put on them for being part of these union negotiations. So I want to state that any division or resentment that I come out with as a parent is not from the teachers who are asking for more pay. It comes from what I am hearing and seeing firsthand with how board members interact with valued members of our community. These interactions really, really matter. It sets the tone for the entire relationship. So my hope is that there is a way to close this gap between these conversations happening in the room and the people and issues that we see every day in real life working with our kids. I genuinely believe that the board cares about the district's success, and I hope that they will extend that same grace and belief for our teachers and community members in their interactions with them. Thank you.
Possible, I think this is our time. I'll actually be brief.
It is against policy, so what time is it?
It's 7:05.
Is that the only other speaker? I will honor the 3 minutes from.
John Doss, I have 3 kids in Clear Creek. And basically all I want to say is, I want to help. If I can talk to other parents, I have run 2 businesses. If we can meet with the financial lady and go through finances. I know you guys do a great job of doing things, but there might be a different way of viewing it.
Did I see your name on the deck?
No, you didn't. That's
Okay.
why I was taking Mrs. R's time. And
No, I meant a deck application.
I am, yes, you did.
So that is a perfect
That's where-
place for you to
To do
help
it.
us, yeah.
Okay,
We can dig into the budget and all that there, yes.
okay, perfect.
Yeah,
That's all
thank
I
you.
have. Thank you.
And thank you already for volunteering.
Are you looking at us?
Are there any future agenda items after public comment that you would like to consider?
The other one didn't come to mind, so I'll.
Okay, then I would look for a motion.
Move to approve. A move to adjourn. Move to adjourn.
I'll second. Okay.
Yes.
Kane? Yes. McHugh? Yes. Mark?
Yes.